Hey, welcome back. I'm Daniel Pickett, the Chief Technology Officer at FreightWaves, and I'm joined today by Scott Knight, who is the SVP of Sales Engineering at Samsara. Welcome, Scott.
Thank you, Daniel. Happy to be here. Appreciate
Yeah,
it.
excited to be talking to you about data. Obviously, anybody doing sensor data, IoT is that is the real big data out there. We do our own data collection and data cleaning at FreightWaves. Obviously, Samsara is doing it on another scale. I think that a lot of companies are used to having data. We collect data about all the loads we move, or every transaction we do. And I would say that's kind of traditional. Big data and IoT sensor data is a whole different beast. I guess talk to us a little bit about kind of the scale of data we're talking about here. This is not it does not fit in an Excel sheet.
That is fair. Yeah, I think last I saw last year we processed somewhere in the 9 trillion data points scenario, and that's everything from GPS data, other sensor data, video files, pictures, etc. So it's kind of multimodal in
Yeah.
nature.
Yeah, I like how you mentioned that. Some of that is going to be structured. There was a hard braking event. There was a overspeed event, whatever it is. Some of that is unstructured. You have to add metadata to it, like video. I guess talk about some of those challenges and how do you make use of something that's not. We did a load and the transaction price was this and the origin was here and there.
Yeah,
What does
absolutely.
that look like behind the scenes?
Yeah, I mean, I guess there's a bunch of different pieces there. One is just as we talked about, we're gathering that data at scale, so we're able to leverage AI behind the scenes to do quite a bit of processing of that data, whether it's video files or even structured data. The other piece is we try our best to push those insights or the impact as close to the edge as possible. So in this case, let's take dash cams for drivers. Instead of after the fact, they had a harsh break, the data's there, you look at the data, you do something with
Remember
it.
3 days ago when that deer jumped out in front of you?
Right,
It's
exactly.
not terribly helpful. Or that
Yeah, in
minivan
3 days,
got.
if you're lucky, right, in this kind of remote world. So the idea is to try to drive it down to the driver. So if there's a leading indicator, they pick up their phone
Yeah.
or they're getting tired, if we can impact them through audio alerts immediately, avoid the incident in the first place, then we're still leveraging data, but we're not forcing someone to sift through it. We're actually trying to make impact, directly in that scenario.
Sure, sure. And so, that's obviously a huge research effort is to figure out what patterns coming off these sensors, lead to that. Can you tell us a little bit about how how do you decide what is the algorithm? What are we going to put in place? What alerts are going to be triggered? Is there a data science team or a research team? Or talk to us a little bit about, how you go from raw data and an idea to actually, making an impact on the business.
Yeah, a couple things. I think one is that it's driven a lot by our customers, right? It's the needs of our customers and the problems they're trying to solve. So those are the things we're trying to tackle. And then yes, we have a data science team behind the scenes that are figuring out what are the initial models, how do we train those models, how do we make them better, and we're very specific about not releasing something new before we're confident that it's going to be strong in its performance. And the main idea there is you can't lose the confidence of the drivers because as soon as you do, then
Sure.
you're going to have to be backtracking. So we put a lot of work into working with our beta customers and our early customers, early adopters, people that are willing to do the testing with us, so that we're confident when we release something new.
Yeah, I love how you mentioned the impact on the people who are going to feel the front line of what's happening with this technology. Talk to me about driver attitudes because we've worked with ELD data and sometimes most drivers are not a big fan of the ELD. I don't think that's a secret. And there's certainly been a big brother mentality. Is that still prevalent? Is that changing? What are the conversations with drivers like when they hear they're being monitored?
Yeah, I mean, We actually see really, really good adoption, and I think there's a number of factors there. It's not one size fits all. I think all drivers have been in the scenario where it's he said, she said. And if they just had video, they could have proven that they did the right thing. So any driver who's experienced that is never going back from not having cameras.
There's vindication. I mean, we've heard drivers say it's the four-wheelers, talking about us in passenger cars. It's the four-wheelers that cause all the problems. We're professionals. And now being able to actually prove that, it seems like maybe driver attitudes are changing a little bit.
That's a big piece. The other is just how companies approach it, right? So a lot of companies are putting incentive programs around it versus being, a punitive big brother scenario. And we see a lot of drivers that are excited to compete about being that safest driver, and companies are getting creative with incentives around that.
So they're doing. You see companies doing cash bonuses for what? No hard braking events, or what's an example of that?
Yeah, I mean, without naming names, I've seen customers that have had raffles around a Harley or something of that example for best driver score over a certain amount of time, as an example. So there's driver scoring algorithms that help them kind of stack rank how drivers are doing.
Yeah, sure. Well, obviously it's been a challenging environment for a lot of asset-based carriers, drivers, and even the brokers. Within the last year and a half, adding technology is not cheap, but theoretically, if we adding technology is not cheap. But the multi-million-dollar settlements, if something goes wrong, are significantly more expensive. Can you talk to us a little bit about, are there real results? Is the technology and the investment here, is it paying for itself? Can you give us any concrete examples of that?
100%, and I would say absolutely, it's paying for itself. DHL is a great example. Customer of ours. They saw a 26% reduction in accidents after deploying the technology. But what's interesting is those were the worst accidents because they saw 49% reduction in accident-related costs. So there was a true impact to the bottom line. And then to your other point on drivers, they actually saw a decrease in driver attrition. So they actually helped their retention numbers by having this safety program and having incentives around, being the safest driver. And it really drove engagement from the drivers.
That's fantastic. Obviously it's, you have the bigger carriers and the safety programs. Is there an opportunity for the mid-sized carriers here too? Who maybe don't have the overhead. What do you see in the small and mid-sized segment? What are the trends there?
I mean, that's where the in-cab coaching comes into play, and we've got solutions around virtual coaching where you can push events and coaching to the driver in the cab, and that's really helping in terms of not needing a staff of people to be ready to coach drivers that come into a facility or a terminal or what have you, and that's allowing them to see the same results, but get there with what they have in terms of manpower.
Yeah. Talk to me a little bit about insurance costs, because we know that everybody is trying to manage their costs really hard. You guys are selling into carriers. We're selling into carriers, and they're very sensitive to cost right now. Is insurance getting involved with some of the active safety stuff that you guys are doing? What role do you see them playing in what in-cab technology looks like in the future?
Yeah, and I think that's an evolving area. We have a number of partnerships with insurance carriers and brokers where there's incentives around deploying this type of safety technology, because it's kind of a win-win, right? It's helping the carrier themselves, it's helping the insurance company in terms of payouts. So yeah, it's absolutely out there, and a number of our customers have taken advantage of it.
Yeah, I've got the little in my truck, my pickup truck, not my Class 8 truck. I've got the little State Farm tracker that it knocks $20 off my bill every month or whatever it is. And at first it's Big Brother's tracking me, but after a while you say, well, it's really saving me money. It's once it starts to pay for itself, it becomes attractive.
Absolutely.
Same question with regards to government regulation, and obviously it's a headache with having different state regulations around certain things, and you've got federal regulations. Look out into the future, or what's the present state of kind of government regulation around safety devices? What do you see out 5, 10 years? As active safety comes to start to play, what role is government going to play in technology in the cab and active safety?
Yeah, that's a tough one for me for me to predict, honestly.
Predicting government is not easy, huh?
Yeah, I mean, I would just say that adoption of safety technology is increasing on its own, as we've talked about, and I think
It's advancing without regulation.
it is. It is. I mean, and it used to be in the early days, like a driver could say, "Well, I'm going to go over to carrier B because they're not doing this," and that's just really not the case. Everyone is adopting some sort of safety program, and in most cases, that includes dash camera technology in
Yeah.
various flavors.
Right on. And so how will dash cam and event coaching technology and score, what do you think the interplay will be between that and some of the active safety, even moving into level 3 and 4 autonomous? What will be the interplay there? Because it seems like we're not going to flip a switch and go to driverless. That's not going to happen in the next 20 years probably.
For
We
sure.
will probably have more automatic braking, lane keep assist. Is there an interplay between the driver assist and then the active safety?
I,
And,
yeah, I
and
think
how
so.
how do those interplay?
I think that evolves over time as well. And so, most of our customers have very heterogeneous fleets, right?
Sure.
Various year, make, models. Some are older than others. So I think there's for a long time there's going to be a need for technology like ours to add in. And then for those scenarios, like you said, automatic braking, et cetera, like there's a reason that truck is braking and you still want visibility into what the event was. So in those
Right.
cases, we want to work together so that we're not inundating drivers with too many bells and whistles, but we're still providing context to whatever scenarios are happening.
Yeah, absolutely. And then for some of the newer options that are out there, is it something where an older truck can be retrofitted? Is the more exciting technology on the brand new models? What does the whole menu of options look like? Does somebody have to have a brand new truck to take advantage of all the things that can make you a better, safer, more profitable driver?
Yeah, and yeah, it's definitely not dependent on being the latest truck. Now, certainly the latest trucks may have more built-in, bells and whistles, but again, the idea, like with our solution, is that it is very much a solution that can be added on to an existing scenario, and it could be Class 8 trucks, it could be field services. We work with a lot of different types of fleets, and really the solution's meant to be able to be applied to any one of those.
Very exciting. Well, look into the future for us. Whether it's Samsara or other competitors or the OEMs. I think today clearly it sounds like we're doing things that are making it safer, that are validating what drivers have long claimed. That is, most accidents are caused not by the drivers. What do you see happening over the next, let's say, 10 years? What capabilities are we close to, but not quite there on?
Well, I think there's some within safety and some outside of safety. So, the three areas we focus on: one is safety, one's efficiency, and one's sustainability. So, I think in all three of those pillars, we're going to see advancements in technology. AI is obviously a huge thing out there today.
It's a hot topic. I've heard about it.
Yeah, I heard a few times. I think we've been investing in that for a long time, especially as the safety we've talked about. But we also see it in terms of driving insights for fuel efficiency, as an example. We've got some pretty massive fuel savings examples from our customers, where just having accurate, reliable data has helped them drive true impact on saving the bottom line from an efficiency standpoint. And I think we'll see AI continue to drive the ability to get insights in our customers' hands faster, right? No one
Just
wants to
detecting patterns that are being thrown off by dozens of sensors.
say that one more time.
I said, you mean like AI detecting patterns that sensors are throwing off, whether it be braking or acceleration or fuel consumption or whatnot.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's it. It also could be if you widen out to their operations outside of the trucks, right? There's many other scenarios. There's trailers, there's powered equipment, there's
Yeah.
forklifts, you name it, right? That are all part of the operation. And our goal is to get all that data into one place so we can drive insights, kind of across the operation.
That's great. One question we always hear when people talk about AI and some of the models that are out there today is how do you keep that sensitive data secure and private from prying eyes?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, privacy is a huge piece, even outside of AI,
Just
obviously.
with video, you don't want everybody watching your fleet's video.
1,000%. Yeah. So, I mean, we obviously, this is all kind of behind the scenes stuff, but we take security and privacy very seriously in terms of keeping customer data, but still leveraging the kind of metadata or the insights from it in an anonymized way. And that's all to just drive improvements in AI models, as an example.
Good deal. Well, Scott, it sounds like you guys are driving some really fantastic improvements in just the way that we keep drivers safe, that we validate that they are doing what they're supposed to be doing, and just making transportation a safer, cleaner, and more efficient business. So that sounds exciting, and thanks for joining us at the Enterprise Carrier Summit today.
No, absolutely. Obviously, from a safety perspective, we and our customers want to just get drivers home safe every single day, and then it's a bonus, right? That they're saving money as they're implementing these safety programs as well.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, thank you again.
Thanks, Daniel. Appreciate the time.